Students, today we'll discuss about knowledge process outsourcing, KPO. Knowledge process outsourcing can be defined as obtaining high-end knowledge work from the outside the organization in order to run the business successfully in cost-effective manner. Many enterprises have been set up for creation, use, dissemination, and management of knowledge. Knowledge process outsourcing focuses on knowledge expertise instead of process expertise. KPO involves outsourcing of knowledge-based operations to an independent service providing on a contract basis. So what we understand from here is many enterprises have been set up for the creation, use, dissemination and management of knowledge. Means there are organizations, those who create and use the knowledge being provided by others. In KPO, companies look for individuals who are homogeneous mixes of specialized knowledge, work experience, English speaking and attitude. In KPO, the companies will look for the individuals which are homogeneous, means they have many qualities in them, mixes of specialized knowledge, work experience, English speaking skills, communication skills, attitude. This type of skills must be there in individuals to get work, get job, get employed with some organizations or companies. Next, KPO services include business research services, market research services, investment research services, equity, fixed income, credit and quantitative research, data analytics, valuation and fairness options, business operations support, analytics and management, etc. So these are the services included in business research, market research services, investment research. So these are the activities included in KPO services. Now, what is the need of KPO? In today's competitive environment, focus is to concentrate on core specialization areas and outsources the rest of the activities. Many companies have come to realize that by outsourcing the non-core activities, not only the costs are minimized and efficiency improved, but the total business improves because of focus shifts to key growth areas of the business activity. In today's competitive environment, it is very much important to concentrate on core specialization areas. If my business is of trading something, I must be focusing on trading because the environment, the business is very much competitive nowadays. It is dynamic in nature. It keeps on changing every moment. Now, in that case, I must be focusing on my core activities, that is my trading, instead of preparing for payrolls and all, hiring smart men, searching for new talents. So in place of the placement of human resource, so maintaining health and hygiene, and this time many things are there. So these things are not to be maintained or not to be focused upon by the key top level management of the business organization. They must be focusing on how to attain at most growth in the organization, how to develop the business, how to improvise the business, as well as how to move towards achieving the organizational goals. So for the non-core activities, it may be outsourced to some knowledge resource people so that we can also attain maximum specialization on the work. We can minimize the time, minimize the work needed there, minimize the resources needed there, efficiency could be improved, and the whole business organization may improve out of this. So this is the main need of KPO nowadays. Next, we have appendix, which is not so important, however I am showing you here. E-business applications, e-bidding or auction, e-communication or promotion, e-delivery and e-trading. Many shopping sites have courtier price whereby you can bid for the goods and services. It also includes e-technology where one can submit tender quotations through internet. So first of all, nowadays we also have options to quote. We can bid or quote our price at which we are willing to buy some product or service. Next is e-communication or promotion. It involves publication of the online catalog displaying the goods through advertisement, banners, customer surveys, pop-ups, etc. Meeting and conference may be held by means of video conferencing. So the communication and promotion of the goods are also done online. E-delivery includes electronic delivery of videos, journals, photographs, ringtones and other multimedia contents to the users of computer. It also includes consulting services like medical, legal, accounting and etc. electronically. Next is e-trading. It includes trading of securities, that is online buying and selling of shares and other financial instruments. In India, such popular sites as sharekhan.com, ICICIdirect.com, indiabulls.com, HDFCsecurities.com, etc. So here you can purchase and sell shares and other financial instruments, other stocks and securities. Also, we'll see what are the limitations of e-business. Number one, low personal touch. No doubt e-business involves high technology, but it lacks personal touch. Here it is not suitable for the sale or purchase of those products which require high personal touch, such as jewelry, furniture, garments, etc. So it is not so suitable for the purchase or sale of these type of items. So this is the limitation number one of e-business. Let us see what are the next limitations. Next is delay in delivery. Also, in e-business, information flows very fast, but the physical delivery of the product takes time. Sometimes due to technical reasons, websites are taking long time to open or may hang, resulting in frustration among the users. So delay in delivery and other technical issues are always remaining in e-business. Next is need for technologically capability and competence of parties to e-business. For effective implementation of e-business, it is very much important for all the parties in e-business to be very much competent to use internet and technology. Next is increased risk. In e-business, it is very difficult to ascertain the identity of the parties, even the location from where the party is transacting. There are hazards of impersonalization. Some else may transact in your name in leakage of confidential information such as credit card details, etc. So this type of risks are inherent with the online transactions. People resistance. People oppose new technology and new methods of doing things. So this also creates a stress and a sense of insecurity among the people. Next is ethical problems. Nowadays, many companies use an electronic eye to check the email account of the employees, websites visited by them, computer files used by them, etc. This involves an attack on their privacy. Some organizations, some companies also have an electronic eye to check the email account of the employees and their websites visited by them and the work files, computer files being used by them. So this is a direct attack on the privacy of the employees. Next, we have limitations of outsourcing here. Number one, confidentiality and lack of secrecy. Since considerable information knowledge has to be shared in the outsourcing, the outsourcer does not keep the information confidential or passes away to the competitors, the outsourcing firm may suffer. Now, since you need to share much information with the outsourcer, with the knowledgeable person, in that case, if that person shares the information with the competitor, you need to suffer. Next is sweat shopping. Outsourcing firms try to get maximum benefit from the low cost manpower of the host countries. The firm that go in for outsourcing look for doing skills rather than development of thinking skills. The firm that go in outsourcing look for doing skills. They won't be believing much more in specialization, but they will be just believing in doing the work and completing the work as soon as possible. Next is ethical concern. In order to cut cost, outsourcing firm may use child labor in the factories or discriminate wages on the basis of sex, caste of workers, which is unethical. So unethical behavior and unethical means may also be used so as to complete the work fast or so as to cut the cost. Next is resentment in home countries. In the course of contracting out manufacturing, marketing, research and development or IT-based services, what is ultimately contracted is employment or jobs. This may cause resentment back in the country if the home country is suffering from the problem of unemployment. If the home country is suffering from the problem of unemployment, this is also a great attack on the economy of the country, as we are providing jobs to other individuals from other countries. So this is just an attack on the economy of the country. So this was all about outsourcing. Next we'll continue in the next video. Till then, thank you very much and bye.